Okay, let's be real. AI coding assistants, they feel like absolute magic, right? A huge leap in how fast we can get things done. But, and this is a big but, that magic comes with a price. We're all, whether we realize it or not, making a pretty dangerous bargain. We're trading this incredible power for our most valuable secrets. So let's really get into what that actually means.
Let me just throw a question out there. Imagine your most powerful developer, a brilliant AI partner that literally never sleeps. What if it never talked to the internet? At all? What if it just lived right inside your own hardware? That right there, that's the core idea of sovereignty we're going to unpack today.
And this gets us right to the heart of what we're calling AI's dangerous bargain. This is the fundamental trade-off that every single developer, every CTO, every security architect is wrestling with as we speak. Who doesn't love the speed? The suggestions, the bug fixes, they're amazing. But to get that help from tools like, say, GitHub Copilot or ChatGPT, you have to do something kind of crazy when you think about it. We copy and paste our work, our code, our logic, our IP, and we just send it directly to some massive centralized company.
And look, this isn't some theoretical what-if kind of risk. For any organization that takes its security seriously, pasting proprietary algorithms or even crazier, private keys into ChatGPT, well, that's just a flat-out security violation. You're not just sharing a snippet of code, you are literally handing over the keys to the kingdom.
So this whole tension, it puts us in what you could call a privacy paradox. We want this incredible power that AI gives us, but we really can't afford the privacy cost. It really feels like one of those situations where you can't have your cake and eat it too. And when you look at it, the two paths forward are just completely different. On one hand, you've got cloud AI. Your code gets sent out, you risk leaks, and hey, you're training someone else's model for them. But with local AI, everything stays right there on your own hardware, what people in the industry call on your metal. And that means zero data exfiltration. Your secrets stay your secrets. Full stop. And let's be super clear about what's actually at stake here, because we're not talking about minor details. We are talking about the crown jewels, your secret sauce algorithms, the API keys that control your entire infrastructure, sensitive customer data, heck, even intellectual property that you haven't even released yet. All of it is at risk. So this all leads to the big question, right? Is there a way out of this paradox? Is it even possible to get all that amazing power of AI without having to accept this massive risk that comes along with it? Well, the answer is yes, and the solution is pretty simple, conceptually. You stop sending your data out to the AI. Instead, you bring the AI home to your data. And this is all made possible by a technology called a local large language model, or a local LLM for short. It is exactly what it sounds like, a really powerful AI brain that isn't running in some massive data center on the other side of the world, but it's running right there on your own machine in your own server rack. It's a total paradigm shift. And hey, this isn't just some theory. A perfect real-world example is a product called the DevOps Sovereign. Think of it as a specialized AI system administrator that is completely air-gapped. And when we say air-gapped, we mean it has absolutely zero connection to the outside internet. None. Now, giving an AI its own private home does take some resources. We're talking about 32 gigabytes of RAM as the bare minimum, the cost of entry. So yeah, this isn't something you're just running on a standard laptop. This is a dedicated machine with enough memory to load and run a pretty sophisticated model entirely on its own. But what's surprising is how streamlined setting this up can be. You get the right hardware, you run a single installation command, you paste in your license key, and that's pretty much it. Your private, totally air-gapped AI is online and ready to get to work. Okay, so the big question is, what can a private, air-gapped AI actually do for you? Well, it turns out it unlocks some incredibly powerful capabilities. Let's take the DevOps Sovereign as our example. It's basically designed to do three main things. First, it acts as your own private code reviewer. Second, it can automatically fix your infrastructure when things go wrong. And third, it's like a vigilant sentinel, just constantly watching your system logs for any potential threats. Okay, so here's that air-gapped code review in action. Let's say you push some new code to your local repository. The AI sees it, analyzes it, and spots a race condition. One of those really subtle but critical bugs where two processes can interfere with each other. It doesn't just find the problem, it sends you a suggested fix. And the whole time, not a single byte of data ever leaves your network.
Then you've got this self-healing thing, which is just awesome. Picture this, it's 3 a.m. and a critical service fails. Normally, an alarm goes off, wakes you up, you're scrambling. But instead, the AI sees the error, it checks its internal instructions, and it just automatically restarts the service. You wake up in the morning to a simple notification that there was a problem, and it's already solved. That's the 3 a.m. fix. And I gotta say, I love this metaphor from the source material. It just perfectly captures the role of this local AI. See, it's not here to replace your senior developers. Think of it more like a tireless digital janitor cleaning up messes and a super diligent junior developer handling all the routine checks. And it's all living quietly right inside your own server rack. Now, for all of you who are curious about performance, here's a real-world benchmark. If you use an open-source model like Llama 3 on a pretty modest local CPU, you can expect to get around 10 to 15 tokens per second. And if you're not familiar, you can just think of a token as a piece of a word. The point is, this speed is actually more than fast enough for the kinds of tasks we're talking about, like code analysis and parsing logs. So when you put all this together, it really points to a fascinating potential future, doesn't it? As AI becomes less of a cool novelty and more of a core utility, like electricity, the big question is, where are we going to choose to run it? And this whole approach has some incredibly practical applications. I mean, think about a startup in stealth mode. For them, this means they can protect their most valuable IP and no questions asked. Or what about a remote operator who's stuck with super expensive satellite internet? Instead of streaming gigabytes of data, they can process, say, 50 gigs of logs locally, and then just send a tiny 5 kilobyte summary. That's a huge cost saving. You know, when it all comes down to it, the choice is pretty simple. Do we keep feeding these massive, centralized AI beasts with our most valuable data? Or do we start building our own private digital islands of sovereignty, where we, and only we, are in complete control? And that's really the question I want to leave you with. As AI continues its march from just being a helpful tool to being an absolutely essential piece of our infrastructure, are we going to place all our trust and all our data in the hands of just a few massive cloud providers? Or is the future going to be something else entirely? A future defined by countless digital islands, each with its own sovereign private intelligence.